Hello everybody, welcome back to another election prediction video. This time, this is my final 2024 Republican primary prediction. This is the state of a race currently. Trump has 63 delegates, Nikki Haley has 17 delegates, and the other two candidates here have 12 delegates combined. So going forward, South Carolina is up next. They do it as a winner-take-all state, with the congressional districts also having winner-take-all delegates. Each congressional district has about 3 delegates or so. Nikki Haley currently is probably going to lose in all the congressional districts, so it's just going to be a full winner-take-all state for Donald Trump at this point. She's pretty much down by a considerable margin here. She's probably only going to get like 35% of the vote, while Trump gets 65%. That's currently what the polls are saying. I think it's more going to be like 36% for Haley, 64% for Trump. That's kind of how I see it going down. However, I don't see her winning any delegates. I think she'll just win one county, which is tradition so far in these states, except for Nevada, which she didn't really contest Trump in at all. But with South Carolina, I think Trump's going to win all the delegates here, 100% of them. He's going to make a clean sweep, and he already has a pretty good delegate lead. So going into the next few states, Michigan is having a primary and a caucus. Michigan's primary is most likely the proportional one, while Michigan's caucus is winner take most. Idaho and Missouri are also winner take most states, so you win, you get at least 66% of the delegates over. I think Trump will probably win a bit more than that, just because he'll probably get a bit higher than that 66% total, because he's beating Nikki Haley in the polls by quite a lot. So going into Michigan, I think Trump's going to get like 70% of the delegates. I see Nikki Haley getting about 30% of them here. In Idaho, kind of see the same story here. It's a winner take most state, and Trump's probably going to win here with like 70% of the vote. Same with Missouri. I just don't see her doing any better out of those first few states in Iowa and New Hampshire, which were Donald Trump's worst states in the Republican primary. Well, let's see here. What's next? DC, which is a winner take all contest, and North Dakota, which most of the politicians in North Dakota have already endorsed Donald Trump. DC is the one area where I see Nikki Haley winning. In the past, only like a few thousand Republicans vote here, and they're usually the most establishment Republicans, the most elitist ones. This is one contest where I see Nikki Haley actually winning here. This is probably one of her only victories coming out of this whole entire Republican primary, is just to win in DC. And if she can't even win DC, that's just kind of sad, because I think she's going to get swept basically everywhere. So this is her only victory she gets out of the Republican primary, her only win. So moving on to North Dakota, I think Trump's getting 70% of the delegates there at least. You probably could even get more than that, honestly, at this point. And then we're heading into the Super Tuesday states. So we have a whole list of states here. Most of them are winner-take-most states, with a few winner-take-all states with some variations of that. But first, I think we'll start off with the more proportional states, which are Virginia, North Carolina, and Alaska, I'm pretty sure. Those are all the proportional states. Starting off with Virginia, I think she at least gets like, I would put it about 37% of the vote. I think she does about as well as she did in South Carolina. North Carolina, I think she'd do worse. So I think it'll be like something like 69 to 30% or something in that state. Alaska, I think she'll get around a solid base of support here, maybe at least 39% to 60. Again, there's a lot of moderate Republicans in Alaska, which is why she gets a better margin here than in other states. But her best two states would probably be Vermont and Utah, and maybe Colorado. These are some of the states that, in her best case scenario, she would win Utah, Colorado, and Vermont. However, I don't think she's going to win any of them in the current scenario that we're witnessing right now. So far, she did get an endorsement from the Vermont governor here, who's a Republican, Phil Scott, and she has some endorsements from some Utah politicians. Her best chance at a victory is probably Utah or Vermont. So potentially she could win those states, because Trump isn't leading by a massive amount. He isn't leading by a lot in Utah. It's like 49% he's at, but still that's a pretty big lead, considering Nikki Haley's only at like 20s or 30s in the polls in Utah. But let's just start off with the northeastern states. These are mostly winner-take-all states. Trump will have probably the weakest margin. Vermont, Massachusetts, I could see Nikki Haley getting a solid 35% of support here, and That's probably where she maxes out at in terms of delegates because it's winner take most. Maine, I think Trump will probably get 70% here. Alabama, it's a winner take most state, and I do expect Trump to do pretty well here. It'll probably be a crushing victory here, 75 to 25. Same with Tennessee. I just think she'll do probably even worse than she won't even get the minimum or maximum amount of delegates you can get in second, just 33% in winner take most. Arkansas, I also see her just getting crushed here, probably 80 to 20. Same with Oklahoma. I think these are some of the Trumpiest states in the Republican primary. In Minnesota and California, they're both winner take all states. Minnesota, he's probably definitely going to win there. California, it's winner take all if you get above 50% of the vote. And if that's a one-on-one contest, Trump's easily going to beat her and win all the delegates in California. Moving on to Texas, it's a winner take most state, and I think Trump's going to do pretty darn well here, probably winning about, I think, 69 to 30 or something like that. Colorado, it's probably going to win weaker Trump states because there's more moderate Republicans here. However, still, Trump will win enough of the vote, probably like 60 to 40, but the delegate split would probably be 67 to 32. Utah, again, Nikki Haley would probably max out her amount at possible second place delegates at about 35%. I think this state will be Trump's weakest margin of victory, probably only wins by 10 to 15 here. However, he gets 66% of the delegates or so. But after Super Tuesday, let's see if we covered all these states. Yeah, it looks like we did cover all these states. So after Super Tuesday, Trump's at 903 delegates. Mind you, it takes 1,215 delegates to win the nomination, so he's more than 75% of the way there. Nikki Haley would only have 281. And honestly, I would expect Nikki Haley to drop out of the race at this point. However, let's do the hypothetical scenario that she continues on at least till Trump gets over 50% of the, or over 50% of the delegates here, which is 1215. So the next few primaries, we have American Samoa and Guam. Again, we saw Trump strengthen these territories. American Samoa is probably Nikki Haley's best chance at winning an island, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Trump will just crush Nikki Haley in American Samoa and Guam. Okay. Then we have Georgia, Hawaii, Mississippi, and Washington. Hawaii and Washington are proportional states, while Mississippi is winner take all, and Georgia is a winner. Well, not Mississippi is just winner take most, and Georgia is winner take all. Okay. So Georgia, Trump's going to at least win the vote here. Doesn't matter by how much he wins it by. Probably going to be like 70 to 30 again. That's just enough to get all the delegates here. Mississippi, I think he'll be probably 75 to 25. I think Trump would have a pretty strong base in this state. Washington, Nikki Haley at least get like, it's a proportional state, so she'll at least get her base of 35%, 37% or so. Nikki Haley probably only loses a bit of vote here. Again, Trump does well in islands in the primaries. He did well in Hawaii back in 2016, the Republican primary. So I see that happening again. So Trump's not at 1215 yet. Nikki Haley still has at least 318 delegates or so. Moving on, we have Northern Marinas Islands. And again, Trump just does well in these territories, so I see that just happening again here for Donald Trump there. So then we have a bunch of winner-take-all contests. Kansas, it's kind of similar to how South Carolina does their delegate system, so I think Trump will probably still win all the congressional districts there. So they're pretty much essentially a winner-take-all state, Kansas. So the rest of these states, Florida, Trump win. Ohio, and that's probably going to be the state that brings him over 1215, unless Nikki Haley drops out after Super Tuesday, that is. So he wins Florida, Ohio, Illinois, Arizona, and probably 100% of the delegates in Kansas as well. So he's already over 1215 delegates. So Nikki Haley did say some comment about sticking until every state votes. Maybe she's hoping that the delegates will vote for their conscience at the end of the convention. So let's just do the hypothetical that she stays in the race the whole time, because I saw someone in the comments wanted me to cover every single state here. So I guess we're just going to do that, because that was a request here. So Louisiana, most of them are winner-take-all states, by the way. So Trump's easily going to get 100% anyway. So she's still at 320 delegates or so. But Connecticut, that's winner-take-most. Winner-take-all Delaware. I bet New York's winner-take-most. winner take most, Rhode Island, and winner take all. So Delaware and Wisconsin are winner take all states, and I just expect Trump to easily win in these states. So far, he's on a 100 or a 50 state sweep, which I probably think is going to happen. So New York, he's going to get 70% of the vote. It is one of his home states or so. Rhode Island and Connecticut are just winner take most states. Trump's probably going to crush Nikki Haley and the rest of these. She's only going to get 30% of the vote in each of these states or so, only 30% of the delegates. Let's see here. We have Wyoming. I'm pretty sure that's winner take all. Puerto Rico, winner take most. Pennsylvania, winner take all. Indiana, winner take all. So Puerto Rico, Trump's going to crush it again. He's going to get most of the delegates here. He does well in these territories. He actually has a bit of sizable minority support in the Republican primary. But let's see what other states we get here. Wyoming, Pennsylvania, Indiana. Okay. So Trump's going to win 100% of the delegates in Wyoming, 100% of the delegates in Indiana, 100 delegates in Pennsylvania. See, with all these winner-take-all contests, Nikki Haley would be for sure to drop out once Trump hits 12-15, because at this point, it would just kind of be embarrassing herself in the rest of these states. Maryland, winner-take-all. She wouldn't even get enough delegates here to really contest it, because they're all winner-take-all states, basically. So Maryland goes to Trump. West Virginia goes to Trump. Nebraska goes to Trump, so he continually just wins 100% of the delegates here. Kentucky and Oregon, I'm pretty sure those are proportional, so at least you'll get some delegates here. However, Kentucky, I just see her getting especially crushed, only getting 19% of the vote. With Oregon, she'd probably only get about 30% of the vote. I could see that being a better state for her. But we have Montana, which is winner take all. New Jersey, winner take all. Proportional New Mexico, and winner take all South Dakota. So the rest of these states go to Donald Trump here. So if she decides to stay in, she only will go from 320 delegates. So let's say she probably gets a little bit less than 30%. We'll just give her 30% for the sake of the argument. So she would only go from 320 delegates to an extra 391. So she really doesn't go up much if she stays in after Trump wins enough, the majority of the delegates here, especially after his wins in the Florida, Ohio, Illinois, and Arizona, and Kansas winner-take-all primaries. You probably would drop out after this point, just looking at the map. So Trump would get about 2,059 delegates to Nikki Haley's 391. Honestly, I could see Nikki Haley just dropping out after Super Tuesday and only getting like a few hundred delegates or so. But realistically, if she decides to stay in the race the whole time, she would only win the District of Columbia, the nation's capital. That's about it. So that little, you can actually see the orange dot there. So that tiny little orange dot on the screen in between Maryland and Virginia, if you zoom in, you can see it. That's all she wins here. The rest is just Donald Trump blue on the Republican primary map. So that's my final 2024 Republican primary prediction. I think Nikki Haley will win 0 states and only win 1 contest in DC. That's about it. So thanks so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, highly recommend subscribing. And in the comments below, let me know what your delegate guess is. Right now, I think Nikki Haley, I don't even think she gets 391. I think she gets 320 because I think she drops out after Florida votes. But other than that, thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.